What up, dude? Welcome to the Boss Up All Out podcast, your home for organic debate about Detroit Lions news and rumors. It's your man, Curt. Still on today's show, we look at the 3 Detroit Lions assistant coaches promoted over the weekend. But first, do us a quick favor: like the video, share the video, comment on the video. If you enjoy the content, subscribe to the channel. We're on our way to 3,000 subscribers, and we're currently at 2,668. And I got channel membership, so go ahead and check that out, man. It's another way to help us grow the show. But now it's time to bring in my co-host for today's show, man. It's the ladies' pet, the men's regret. You ain't seen nothing yet. The highest player from the Himalayas, Yak Town's finest, LL Cool Torrance. What's going on, my dude?
What's up, everybody? Good Monday morning.
And y'all know who it is. It's the hardest working man in Jackson, Michigan. Coach of the Northwest Mounties as their defensive line coach. Man, he be cutting fades, he be running fades, he be feeding kids, he be feeding college students, he do all that stuff. It's the Wolverine Lion who?
Coach Mike Jones. What's going on, Lion fans?
And he got a gang of kids, man. That's why he be so involved in this community. It takes a village, and he got a whole gang of that thing. But if you're new to the channel, you don't know how the show works. We look at Detroit Lions news, headlines, and takes. If we agree, we say they are boss up. If we disagree, we say they are balled on. And we give our reasons why we agree or disagree. No hot takes here. You ain't getting that stuff from FS1. You ain't getting that stuff from Stephen A. You're getting the true thoughts and opinions about what we think about our favorite team, the Detroit Lions. Man, we ain't gonna talk about it if we don't feel about it, man. We ain't gonna say something just to say something, because that ain't how we get down here, man. But today we're gonna talk about these 3 coaches, man, that got promoted over the weekend. Hank Fraley to the offensive line coach and run game coordinator, Kelvin Sheppard to DC, and then Shaun Dion Hamilton to linebackers coach. We're gonna talk about all that today, man. But first, man, had football last night. It was kind of tough to watch those games last night, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was like, man, this is some BS. But good luck to those teams. In 2 weeks, we'll see them playing down in New Orleans. But you watch because you watch. And I put like this: Commanders fans felt like we felt last week. All the damn turnovers. Like, it was like they just kept turning the ball over time and time again, like fumbles, intercept. I was like, yeah, man, same thing. It would laugh and make you cry, man. But good season for the Commanders. But yeah, I kind of felt our pain this week. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is, And
I
hate it for the Bills, man. That was a tough loss again. Like, it's like one of those things, like, what can I do to beat these cats? You know what I'm saying? Like, you look at, they beat them in the regular season like the last 3-4 years, but in the postseason, Chiefs got their number, man. But
Xavier Worley was showing his ass last night.
Oh man, he was. His
ability to move in small space and change direction, like, man, I didn't know he was that good.
Yeah, I watched him at Texas. He was pretty good out there. So, but hey, we're here to talk about the Detroit Lions, man. Y'all know how we get down, man. So let's look at what we got on the docket for today. We're gonna talk about my man, Big Bank Hank Fraley, man, was promoted over the weekend. I mean, you look at this guy, and I've said this time and time again, he has been a key member of the Lions coaching staff since 2018. I've said it before. I think he's the most important assistant coach who has carried over from previous regimes. Like, he's been here since 2018, started off as the assistant offensive line coach, and then just kept, moving up the doggone food chain. He fits that former player profile that MCDC likes to have on the staff. A little background: undrafted free agent out of Robert Morris University, in 2000. He played center for 10 years in the league. He played for the Eagles and the Browns. He was slated to play for the St. Louis Rams his last season, but he got hurt, so he just kind of switched to coaching. He was hired as that assistant, like I said, in 2018 to the assistant offensive line coach, promoted in 2020 to the full-time offensive line coach by the club. That was under Quinn Tricia. But Dan Campbell kept him on, and I'm like, I've always said I like him coming over from the previous regimes. Now over the weekend, he was promoted to run game coordinator this weekend. Now he interviewed twice for that Seattle's Seahawks offensive coordinator job before deciding to stay with the Lions. And it was also rumored, we talked about this last year, that he was rumored that if Ben Johnson left, he would go with Ben Johnson to be his offensive coordinator. And people thought he was going to go to the Bears like Randall L. and JT Barrett. But his wife shut that thing down. She said, year 8 is loading. Did you guys really think we were going to leave for Chicago? Our hearts are in Detroit. I love that right there. That's what I'm talking about.
Thank you, Miss Fraley.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm feeling that. I'm feeling that right there. Now, his players love him. I mean, Frank Ragnow, after the loss to the Commanders, pretty much said in no uncertain terms that he would want to play for another offensive line coach. He was like, I ain't playing for nobody else. And they said they're going to keep him in the building. A lot of the offensive linemen, I think it was Penei Sewell and Frank, not Frank Ragnow, Taylor Decker. They were like, we got to keep this dude in the building. And I think he's really a big part of Frank Ragnow's development because he played center in the league. And you look at him and, how he is as a position coach, and what he played and how he helped Frank Ragnow develop. Now, people will say, well, why are you from him to run game coordinator? But he worked with Ben Johnson closely in that Lions run scheme for the past few seasons. And there's the reason why he was up for that OC position in Seattle. I think whoever takes over as a Lions offensive coordinator, they will have one of the best in the game on their staff to lean on. I think Fraley has done a great job of making the Detroit Lions offensive line one of the best in the league. So for me, I give this promotion a A grade. It was to keep him on staff and to say that saying that he's going to be an integral part of the offense. I give this one a A. You know what I'm saying? But what you guys think, man? I'm gonna come to you first, Coach Jones, because you coach on the other side of the ball. You're a defensive line coach, but you have a perspective on the offensive line because you kind of dabbled over there as well a couple years ago. So what do you guys think about Hank Fraley taking over as the run game coordinator?
Man, I'm gonna do it again, man. I think that's boss up, man. Hank Fraley staying here and then getting elevated as an assistant. Offensive game, I believe, coordinator. Man, that's big. Because he not only has the know-how, the ability from in game, but he also has the players' hearts, man. He has a knack for developing talent. And that's big, man. That's big. That is the key part of the Detroit Lions team is that offensive line. And he is the engine. He's a person that keeps fueling the engine, man. And it's just you can't ever say how crucial that Hank Fraley is to the development of our linemen and just getting them to play as a cohesive unit because we all know, if you don't know out there, man, the lines, the O-line and the D-line have to be like a family. They have to be like a brotherhood. Because they fight in the trenches together, man. So Hank Fraley staying, man, is whoo, that touched me right here, man. Make me warm right here, man.
All right, what you got, LL, about Hank Fraley? Hank Fraley, not Frank Haley. Hank Fraley.
Right. Hopefully I won't say his name wrong, but everything that Coach Mike just said, of course. And what the key word there was consistency. You want to have consistency on the offensive line with the players. And of course, you get to keep that with the coaches. Maybe I'm foreshadowing or not, however you want to say it. But like you said, that was my concern. Like players like Ragnow saying he didn't want to play for nobody else. I didn't really think they was going to let nobody, I think they was going to let him leave. I thought they might, try to pay him whatever he was, whatever he might get elsewhere. But like he did want to stay. Who, if you can answer this, who was our previous run game coordinator? I'm just asking out of curiosity, but he got.
I don't think we had one.
Well,
I don't think we had a run game coordinator.
So they bossed him up, gave him a little raise, and gave him a different little, position as well. But maybe the foreshadowing is maybe Frank Ragnow might want to stick around after Hank Fraley to coach up the guys or something like that. I don't. Everybody keep talking about how Frank Ragnow is breaking. Didn't he tear his pec this year and play with it or something like that? He don't have all his toes or something crazy like that. He going through some stuff. So, those kind of players, he might not play 15, 16, however many years. So, maybe he is going to be groomed to step in for being. You see, that's the kind of, that's going to be the theme of this show pretty much. But you see, that's the kind of thing that the Lions is on. So welcome back, Big Bank Hank, and keep continuing to coach the guys up.
Yeah, my closing thoughts on this is like, if you look at it, right, we, like you said, we've had the same thing at coaches as players. They like to be elevated, like they groom these guys, or they develop the coaches and they develop the players. So as they're developing the players on the field, the coaches that are above the guys, the position coaches, like the assistants, they're being developed by their guys. And it wouldn't surprise me if something was to not work out if we get an OC and it doesn't work out. It wouldn't surprise me to see Hank Fraley elevated to our OC. It wouldn't surprise me at all. You look at what he's done and the positions that he's been kind of vetted for being an OC. Like I wouldn't be surprised to see if everything stays the same as far as the top brass in Detroit, that he's elevated to the OC of the Detroit Lions and somebody else takes over as an offensive line coach. You know what I'm saying? But hey. Like the video, share the video, comment on the video. All these things help us get this content to more Detroit Lions fans, just like yourself, man. Check out the membership tab, man. It's got some great stuff over there. If you're in a live chat, you want to use your boss up, what do you call that? The icons and stuff like that. The little, you can do that instead of saying boss up. You can use a little icon and say, click boss up in there or ball on or whatever you got to say. So go check that out. Membership, man, is great. You know what I'm saying? It's for the low price, but go check it out, man. Help us grow this content right here on our channel. All right. So I think this is a natural order of things happen with my man Shep, but I'm going to let Coach Jones kind of get into more of what happened with Coach Kelvin Sheppard.
So Coach Kelvin Sheppard, who is the new Detroit Lions defensive coordinator, he was promoted over the last couple days, man. I can't remember what exact day it was, but he played for 8 seasons in the NFL. He was drafted by the Buffalo Bills in 2011. I think he played for the Colts, the Dolphins, the Giants, the Bears, and then his last season he played with the Detroit Lions. And he stuck around, man. I think he liked the culture. And he's seeing his ability to grow and into his new job that he wanted to be a linebackers coach, man. He didn't start as the linebackers coach. I believe he started as the
outside linebacker.
Yeah,
outside linebackers coach.
Outside linebackers coach, and then he took over as the linebackers coach, and that's the inside linebackers, and and all of that, man. But he has been on the staff since 2021, since the very beginning of Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes. So he knows everything. He knows the team, the players inside out. And he's been, he's sort of been grown by AG to kind of just step in that role, man. As I ease on out of here like this, you're going to step in like this. And, one thing I will say about a linebacker coach is the linebackers coach has, I wouldn't say, I don't want to use the word easier, but I'm going to use it. They have an easier road of sliding in as a defensive coordinator because the linebackers coach, he's on the field at all times. So when your D-line is doing stuff in the run game, they're doing run game fits, the linebackers are there, right? Linebackers are there to know where their holes are, know where their gaps are, know what the D-line is going to do. And then when the D-line is or the secondary is doing their 7-on-7, the linebackers are also on the field. So the linebackers are on the field at all times, and they're the ones who call the defense. So when you have your eyes on the front end and the back end the whole entire time, you really get a full sense of the defense. So that's why I think that it will be a smoother transition. I think it'll be a pretty good transition. My only worry and the only caveat is that he's a first year guy. So maybe there might be a few bumps and bruises that, get worked out kind of in the beginning of the season. But I do have faith that he will accelerate, and he might just take this defense further than Aaron Glenn took it. Maybe he's seen some things from a linebacker's perspective that he could take advantage of that that is good for the Lions, man. But Kelvin Sheppard, he deserves it. You earned it, and I'm glad for him, man.
Yeah. Looking at this one, I was like, I like this one. I like this promotion. Chef's promotion wasn't a surprise to me. I'm looking at this because I'm looking at, like you said, he was groomed to be the DC because he's been AG's right hand man for the past few seasons. Former NFL player. And here's the thing. Not only did he coach the linebackers, but he also helped coach the D-line. Remember, he was the pass rush coordinator as well. So he did a good job, man. You look at this year between him and Terrell Williams, man, like they had some injuries to deal with. And he got some solid production. I won't say it was great. It was solid. Of course, it was bad at times because you had guys don't know the scheme and come in and expect us to play right away. But he did a solid job of getting those practice squad guys and those backup players, up to snuff, at least to get us to hold us over for a few games while some guys healed. I think he knows the scheme. He knows the defensive scheme. And he wants to keep that continuity Dan Campbell does, and that's what he does. And then like Hank Fraley, his players love him. They want to play for him long term. And I think that he gets I think MCDC for me gets another A grade for this promotion for Kelvin Sheppard to defensive coordinator. All right, what you got, my man LL, on Kelvin Shepp, Big Shepp taking over DC?
Which I agree everything what y'all saying. The big boss up. This is another boss up. He's bossing up from linebackers coach to DC. You know what I'm saying? The full-time defensive coordinator. I'm glad for him. Well, number one, let me say, I don't know if we all got to say this, but congrats to Aaron Glenn, man. I like that everybody likes that Aaron Glenn gets the opportunity and everybody is talking shit about Ben Johnson. I just like it because I talk shit because it's the Bears, not just because he did it. I don't really care. I hate the Bears anyway, so I'm just going to talk shit because it's the Bears. I don't, all of the disloyal and all that. He could do that, whatever. I don't care. He played for the Bears now, or he coached for the Bears now. But, congrats to AG. And I think we all kind of figured this would happen unless he left. So that was the only reason why they might interview somebody else. I kind of thought that. Well, I speak on that part of it. But they did interview Larry Foote, and I thought that maybe that would be for the linebackers coach because they were going to promote Shep. But we all have talked. We all have had our fair share of negative things to say about the defense as a whole and Coach Sheppard at times. Some of us, I don't necessarily like that he didn't run a spy, but they did some of that, over time. So maybe they just felt like they didn't have the players to do it or whatever, or maybe they just didn't. Maybe they've been shown the need for a spy in some instances. So we saw, some adjustments in those instances. One thing that I do like to point out, not to piggyback just everything that Coach Mike said, but just about the linebackers. And in a couple of those games when they were, the linebackers would shift away, just pre-snap movements and things like that, just, getting set to, fire off, they would people notice that, commentating and everything, commenting on that stuff like that. So, maybe he will, coach this mug up a little bit, a little bit more. I'm certain that AG was a very adequately intense guy. We'll see Shep in the same way. Shep is from Louisiana. I don't know exactly where he's from, but I like to hear him talk as well. Like he got a real different accent as well. So, but congrats to AG and congrats to Coach Shep. Again, another consistency, or a consistent piece in the staying with the organization. And, this guy will probably be grooming, the next DC.
You know what? There's one thing that I didn't mention is that when he was the outside linebackers coach, that's when Malcolm Rodriguez stepped in and had a big impact. Now, I'm not saying that was all because of Shep, but you have to be coached and to do those things. And then if you look at the development of Derek Barnes as a linebacker, he came off the edge a lot in college. And then you look at the transformation of Jack Campbell, how he went from kind of being kind of like not knowing where he was supposed to be to this second year. He's taken that leap, and now he's a stalker. So just the player development and those aspects, man, he ready. He's definitely ready.
Just got to keep Jack Campbell for hurting our own players. Anyway, like video, share the video, comment on the video. All these things able to get this content to more Detroit Lions fans just like yourself, man. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, man, go ahead, hit it. It's free. It's free. And if you don't know how free it is, it's $3.99 and 50 free cents.
Oh, that's free.
Nothing, man. It's free. But all right, now it's time to talk about the last promotion. Before we kind of get into some more Detroit Lions news and rumors, got LL, man, to talk about the new linebackers coach. What you got, my man?
The new linebackers coach, another boss up move, bossing up from the assistant linebackers coach to not a full-time linebackers coach. Mr. Shaun Dion Hamilton, he played in the NFL for 3 seasons, all with the Washington team. I don't know what names they had at that time. They might have had all 3 different.
I think it was the Washington football team back then.
Yeah. You ruined my joke, Curt. But I was gonna say I think he might have had 3 different names in all 3 years. But yeah, that franchise is the Lions defensive assistant and assistant linebackers coach since 2022. And again, just recently promoted to linebackers coach. This is another consistency play. We saw, Aaron Glenn groom Shep. Shep was presumably, I don't know how to say that word, but presumably coaching up Shaun Dion Hamilton to step in. Like I said in the last one, I kind of thought that that was kind of the tell for me when they interviewed Larry Foote. I kind of felt that they were going to hire Shep or promote Shep to DC and hire Larry Foote as linebackers coach, but none of that happened, and they ended up promoting Shaun Dion Hamilton. I kind of thought that he played for the Lions at one point. I'm thinking about another name.
No, he did. He never played. He was on the roster, but he was I guess he was here, but got injured. Then he came back the next year, and then they kind of released him, and then they just kind of added him to the coaching staff.
Okay, that's kind of how I remember hearing his name around. I remember us saying his name a couple of times maybe, but shout out to him, man, sticking around and building this thing up. Like we say here, it's a boss up move. So congrats to him. I believe that he will. Well, one thing that I want to see, I don't know what he's going to do, but what I would like to see is some of the same. Our linebackers were pretty aggressive especially when we had our starters in there. I felt that they were a very strong part of this team. We had, at one point we had Anzalone, Kevin Jack, Barnes, and Rodrigo, all ready to go. And they were playing very, very well. Once Barnes went down, Rodrigo stepped in and didn't seem to change. It's just once everything else started to happen is when, it seemed like the worst had started to happen. But I like the move. Of course, I like the move. I like that he's staying with the team, and I like that the team gets to see that familiar face. Again, same with what we've been saying. He is a first-time guy. I don't really. As long as with any opportunity is going to be a first time. So as long as he, sticks with the game plan, I think this is they insulate these coaches pretty well. So you can probably add your own spin to it, but you're still going to be doing what we like to do here. So that will keep things from from falling apart too much. Even if it would. So not to even put that negativity out there, but. Again, I keep saying this, but again, congrats to Coach Shaun Dion Hamilton and congrats to Shep. I think that this will be a good, I don't want to say marriage, but a good union with these guys staying around. What do you guys think?
All right. So for me, you look at this situation, right? I'm looking at Shaun Dion Hamilton, and I'm like, the first thing is he's young enough to relate to the current players at only 28 years old. So I'm looking at that like, oh, okay. So he's only 28. And it was kind of the natural order for him to get promoted to the full-time linebackers coach. And then Shep gave his endorsement of Dion Hamilton last year because he said that Hamilton was ready to run his own linebacker room. Now he gets that chance to do that in a team that pretty much once played for. So, I mean, I'm looking at this situation and I'm liking what I'm seeing out of the situation. I can't give this one an A because I don't know how he's going to do. I give it a B plus for my grade, but I like the natural order of things. And like I said, he's young enough because he's played in the league. So he's young enough to relate, but he's kind of old enough to say, I've been where you've been. So this is, I'm kind of seeing it from where, you know what I'm saying, I've been where you've been. So, and he kind of looked at it like this. I mean, he said, it's like he kind of saw his progression as a player and he kind of saw where his career was heading. And he was like, I don't know about this. So, and he had some injuries. So he was just like, okay, I'm going to switch gears and become a coach because I don't like where the projection of my career is going. He said, and I say he was too good to be a practice squad player or too good to be a special teamist, but he just like was wanted to switch gears and he felt it and he saw it. And I can't fault that guy for that, for saying, hey man, you know what I'm saying? My playing career is coming to a quick end and let me go ahead and start coaching.
Yeah, man. I give this a big boss up. Just off the fact that like the coach-player relationship has changed a lot. And one thing that players need now is they need somebody that they can relate to. They need somebody who has done it and who kind of can still do it. You know, they need people who, when they can, like, all right, step to the side. Let me show you how this is done. They can get in, step in, kind of go through the motions, and so players understand it. Because you know, you read, you see, and then you repeat. And I think that man, that's such a key asset when you're coaching, man. Because like I said, nowadays it's not just the older guy just screaming out this, and the players like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. Now, you know, players are like, you know, you say something, they be looking at you like, can you do it? You know what I'm saying? And that's just how the game has changed. And Shaun Dion Hamilton is a very good hire. You know, it's a guy who has experience, who can show these guys what to do, man. So hopefully he steps in and the linebackers don't take a step back, but they take a step forward. Because we trying to get that championship, man. That Lombardi.
Yeah, and one thing, one little story that kind of caveat for this is like, and one of the reasons why he was added to the coaching staff because he was kind of asked to run some player-led practice and stuff like that, and he was out there. He was coaching up his fellow linebackers, you know, as a player. So it was kind of the natural order of things where they were like, hey, this guy, you know, he's going to leave the team, but we're going to add him to the staff because we see how well he can coach. He can communicate, and he's a good enough coach where he can coach his teammates, and now he can coach them as their actual coach and not just a former player. You know, he's an actual coach on the team. So I like what we saw his development from player to coach. This kind of natural order. I mean, you look at the Lions staff. I mean, that's just kind of what we are. I mean, we are a former player coach team. You know, the majority of the coaches are former players. So, and I kind of like that because, like you said, Coach Jones, it makes them relatable to the players because they've been where they've been. They've done what they're done. So, hey, man, like the video, share the video, and comment on the video. All this helps us get this content to more Detroit Lions fans like yourself. If you enjoy the content, man, keep coming back. Hit that subscribe button, man. Hit the notification bell so you know when you're getting fresh content from us right here on the Boss Up Ball Out podcast. All right, a couple of things. We want to do some house cleaning. Also, Detroit Lions news and rumors, man. Just want to get y'all thoughts and opinions on this right quick. All right, Casey Rogers coming over from the Bucks, man, as a defensive line coach. Coach Jones, what you got on this one? Because I know this is right up your alley right here.
Yeah, man, that's a super big boss up to go from Terrell Williams to Casey Rogers. Casey Rogers, he has had they were top 5 in the run for about 5-6 years in a row. Down there at Tampa, man. So he knows how to teach those guys, man. If you look at the players on the D line, their fundamentals, their abilities. I remember people was talking a lot of stuff about Vita Vea when he first came out, like he got T-Rex arms and all that nonsense. Man, that boy's a monster. So there's just things that that I think that he is very good at, and there's Terrell Williams might be a little better, whatever, but there's definitely no real down in going from a guy that had a top 5 defense, man, run stopping defense. So yeah, I'm with it.
Yeah, and my thing is that the Packers wanted him and we got him. So, like a Brian Bratz thing, like the Packers was like, they would want this guy, and I'm like, yeah, too bad, so sad. What you got, Leo? You got any words on the Casey Rogers hire?
Yeah, good hire. I've gotten familiar with with some of his stuff over the last few days. Everybody been talking about it. Some of what Coach Mike just said. But long story short, on that, they've had a top 5 run defense. Over the last couple seasons. I don't remember nobody saying that about Vita Vea, by the way. But I just wanted to point that in there. But no, it's a good hire. I hope that it won't change too much. I know that it seemed that the players and everybody, they liked Terrell Williams' attitude about the defensive line. One of the things I believe he said, I forget what they asked, he was talking about just the defensive line playing violent. So I believe this guy has the same kind of mindset, but you can't, you lose one of who people thought as one of the best, but we are getting somebody who was the best, I guess. Some people say the best defensive line coach. But we bring in one of the best, so it's not like you said, it's not too far of a drop off. But I think I like what he's going to be able to do here. We got some pieces. We'll probably draft another guy, somewhere on the defensive line, and build on to it. That was, a strong point and a very weak point at some, throughout this season. So, maybe he could, try to keep the wavelength at a certain pace. Even though everything coming short of being decimated by injury. But yeah, I like the hire, and we'll see how it's gonna go.
Yeah, and he hopefully he can inherit a healthy defensive line coming in as the new coach. So and then we have one more rumor. Well, this was news that the Lions interviewed former Lions assistant coach John Morton for the OC position. Now I will say this: what I've been reading about this interview, a lot of beat writers aren't really keen on this dude. They like, nah. But he's worked with Sean Payton up there in Denver the last 2 years as that pass game coordinator. Left Detroit for a reason. Now I will say this: he does have ties to Dan Campbell. I'm looking at this. Me myself, I'm not really a big fan of this. Now I'm not saying I don't say he doesn't deserve a chance. I'm not a big fan of this move by the Lions if they were to hire him. I'm more of the fact that I would rather have Montgomery be the OC myself. But I mean, it's not like he's not familiar with the organization because he used to work here in Detroit. But I'm not really sold on this one. I think they're kicking the tires, but I'm not sure if they make this move. What you got, Coach Jones?
Yeah, I just don't. I'm with you, Curt. I'm not necessarily liking the fact that you bringing somebody that's new in. I mean, not new, but he's kind of new. And he, because we're in that championship window right now. We don't have no time for nobody making no critical errors. You know what I'm saying? Or nobody, calling plays that you're like, what the hell? You know what I'm saying? Like we going right now, man. And like you said, Curt, I want Scotty Montgomery to be the OC. I don't want nobody else because Scotty is the running backs coach and he gonna figure out ways how to get Jameer Gibbs into that passing game. So Yeah, man. I just, I'm not totally like, oh my God, he's the worst coach ever, because I personally don't really know the man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so with that being said, I don't want nobody that I don't know, like I haven't heard of. I haven't even checked his background to him running the Lions offense. Hell no.
Yeah. I mean, he did do a good job last year with Bo Nix out there. He was their passing game coordinator out there in Denver. I mean, he did do a good job at developing him, but I'm not feeling that right now. Like you, I'm not feeling that. What you got, LL?
I don't care about it too much. I kind of feel like how you said, kicking the tires or bringing, like, kind of how I thought about Larry Foote. Like, maybe they're interviewing him because they're about to promote somebody and maybe think about him to take that spot. Like, maybe whatever the current passing game coordinator is, Tyler, what was his name? Tanner E. So if he is promoted to offensive coordinator, maybe this guy will be brought in as passing game coordinator or something. I don't know. I like Scotty Montgomery. I would like Tanner, my man, and another name that I had text y'all or put in the chat. What about Deuce Staley? Like, where he at? I know we figured out that he's in Cleveland, but maybe ring his phone, to come in here and do something again. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, this is a move that, I mean, I know it was an interview, and you hear stuff, and but one thing I've never heard, I haven't heard about this interview. It was never he has emerged as a candidate. It was never he has emerged as the lead candidate, or he's going to be. He's going to be. The rumors are that he's expected to be hired. And it was never none of that. It was just he's been interviewed to be for the OC position in Detroit. But hey, like the video, share the video, comment on the video. All these help us get this content to more Detroit Lions fans, just like yourself, man. Make sure you hang out with us right here on the Boss Up Ball Out podcast, your home for organic debate about Detroit Lions news and rumors. If you haven't done so already, make sure you follow the crew on your favorite social media platform. Man, Coach Jones does a great job over there on Wolfline Sports Talk, and he does some shorts over here and the Beyond the Ropes playlist when he talks about boxing right here on the channel. So all my boxing fans, go check out Beyond the Ropes. You know what I'm saying? Because he's a former fighter himself, man. He used to be running them fades too. I post content from this show, all of my social media platforms. And, man, you know what I'm saying? Yam City over there on LL's Instagram page, man. So go check that thing out. All right, man. Time for Party Shots on this Monday, man. Thank you for starting your week out with us right here on the Boss Up Ball Out podcast. Coach Jones, what you got for these people on this melancholy Monday? Because we didn't play yesterday.
I'm so sad about that. You kind of brought back some feelings, Curt. But you know what, man? It is what it is, man, I guess. But you know what? Everybody have a happy Monday. We got some new coaches, man, that are in places. Well, not new coaches. We got familiar faces that then got moved up, and something that's not that hasn't become a thing is we got to look at the draft.
Yeah.
But you know what? Don't let that be a downer to you, man. Just get into them draft profiles, man. I kind of keep an eye on the game, but I don't look at the game because I'm still kind of salty about it. But hey, we Detroit Lions Nation, one pride. Let's go.
Yeah, go ahead. What you got, LL, for the people?
Happy Monday. Congrats to the coaches that were promoted. Congrats to the coaches that took jobs other places. This is a new season. We're going to build up into a new thing. The draft is coming up. And this is what I know a lot of people going to say that I'm about to pick. Okay. But everybody talk, oh, I'm so sad that we not playing. Oh, I'm so sad. We was doing this a couple years ago. So yeah, don't let that get too far. You know what I'm saying? We ain't been in this thing the whole time now. So, let's, we got.
I feel you, LL. I feel you.
It ain't been that long ago. We all sad, but all of that stuff. I don't know about that, but yeah, congrats to whatever in the hell. Like I posted, my mood is what is it? Whatever versus who? What? I don't know.
Yeah.
Go Lions. Whatever. Yeah, I don't care.
Because whoever versus whoever, go Lions.
Yeah. Maybe Bane will show up at the Super Bowl and do us all a favor. But have a great Monday. Have a great rest of your week, and find your greatest breakfast deal in your area.
Man, before we get to talking about the draft, man. Free agency's coming up, man. So on Wednesday, we're gonna talk about the free agents we got on this roster, and who's gonna be, who can we keep and who can we let go. So we're gonna talk about that on Wednesday, and then on Friday we're gonna do a live. So we're gonna be down at 3 shows a week. You know what I'm saying? It's time to start our off-season schedule. So Monday, Wednesday, we're gonna do our of course our recorded shows, and then on Friday we'll do our live shows. So we will see you back here on Wednesday. We're gonna talk the current free agents and who should stay and who should go. And I got a whole bunch on the who should go list. But anyway, man, thank you for starting your day with us, man. If you're having a good day at work, man, make sure you spread that joy to someone else. If you're not having a good day, man, let's say no one else's joy, man. Hey, you know what you got to do for your man, Curt Steele and LL and Coach Jones, whatever you're doing in life, you guys to boss up. Fall out and be the best version of you that you can be. For my man LL Cool Torrance and Coach Mike Jones, this is Curt Steele, and we will holla at you real soon.